How's it going, YouTube? This is Skull, and welcome to episode 75 of Zootopia on home video. This is a milestone episode, and as such, I am taking a short break from my current subset, which is the UK Zootropolis 2 releases, to focus on something extra special. So, today I am going to go over the absolute rarest release of Zootopia on home video in the world. And that is the BluFans one-click edition. So, you will remember back in episodes 33 through 35, I went over the individual releases of Zootopia from BluFans. BluFans is a company in China that specializes in making collector's editions of films. And in 2017, they released several copies of Zootopia. So, they made a double lenticular edition of Zootopia. They made a single lenticular edition of Zootopia. Lenticular meaning the front is 3D, has this 3D effect. And they made a full slip edition. And I went over these, as I said, in episodes 33, 34, and 35, if you want to go and check them out more in depth. But if you in 2017 wanted to buy all three of those at once from BluFans, there was the option of buying all of them with matching numbers that came with this box. And that is why this is called the one-click edition. The way BluFans works is with a single click, so basically ordering a single product instead of all of them individually, you would get all of them with matching numbers and this box to hold them in. So what I mean by matching numbers is, if you didn't watch the previous episodes, every single release, every single copy of these films has an individual serial number attached to it. So the double lenticular had 900 copies, the full slip had the single lenticular had 600 copies, and the full slip had 500 copies, and each of them was individually numbered. So my full slip is number 71, my single lenticular is number 328, and my double lenticular is number 311. If you were to buy them with the one-click edition, they would all be the exact same number. The only downside is that there's no number on the box itself that holds them all in. So I have no idea what this particular one would have had inside of it for whoever bought it originally. And guys, this is a rare release. I'll tell you how rare in a second. Let's go over some details about the box itself. I think I've explained very well about how it was released in the first place. So this was released along with the rest of the BluFans releases on January 31st, 2017 in China. And I remember saying in the previous BluFans episodes that BluFans doesn't make releases like this anymore. They do. They do. I was 100% wrong about that. It's just that they haven't done a Disney release in a long time. So it's safe to say that there will not be a BluFans release for Zootopia 2, which is a shame because it feels like right now the most collector's edition version of Zootopia 2 is the North American 4K Steelbook, and that's not a collector's edition, it's just rare. Not the same thing. These are collector's editions. You got all these beautiful covers and these big boxes with extra goodies inside, individually numbered on the back, and if you bought them together, it came with a box. That's what a collector's edition should be, a collector's edition. And we haven't gotten anything like that for Zootopia 2, and it looks at this point like we never will. Which is unfortunate, but at the same time, with how hard it is to get all the BluFans releases these days, any collector's edition from Zootopia, I guess I'm not too sad about that. Anyway, so this is what the box looks like. It's about this big, and this is what the lid looks like. It's just a lid that comes off, and you'll see what's inside there in a second. So this is what the front looks like. It's just picture of Judy pulling Nick by his tie, and the Zootopia logo there on a white background. The entire box is white, very simple. The back is it's like this. What is this called? The mugshot photos of all the characters standing beside each other with their various heights recorded. it does appear that there are tiny numbers beside this. I am never going to be able to capture that perfectly in camera, but there are tiny numbers beside this. So up to Judy's ears is about 65 units. There's a tiny mouse down there. I didn't even see him until just now. There is a tiny mouse right there beside Judy. Comes up to about 5 units. Judy's 65. The top of Nick's ear is about 95, it looks like. The Flash's finger goes up to 100 exactly, and I could go on, but you get the idea. Just all these characters beside each other, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Tiny piece of debris there. It's all good. I'll worry about that later. So that's what the outside of the box looks like. And something else that this came with. It came with a bonus. Just a very simple thing. This carrot pin recorder. So this is, I'm pretty sure this is just an off-the-shelf standard retail release that was thrown in as a order incentive. And this was officially like a BluFans thing. It wasn't just for the importers. Like if you bought the BluFans one-click edition, it came with this as a free extra. And I also have to say that this is the first time I've ever saw a BluFans one-click box show up on eBay. I pounced on it. So I don't know if it's a common thing for the one-click edition box to come with this secondhand or not. And besides that, beggars can't be choosers. So if it didn't come with this, you should probably just get it anyway. Anyway, so it just seems to be an off-the-shelf carrot pin recorder toy. It says Zootropolis up there at the top instead of Zootopia. Otherwise, the rest of this is all in Chinese. So you could see down there, it retailed for, was that 68 Chinese yuan, which is, it's about $10 these days. It was about $5 back then. It is not an expensive thing. This is still completely in shrink wrap. There is a try me button there for the carrot pin so you can hear it talk, but unfortunately the battery is long dead in there. The battery's been in there for a decade, so you know, that's how that goes. And I just keep mine inside the box, but technically it didn't come in the box. It came separately, but it fits so perfectly I just put it in there anyway. And you're probably wondering, well, why do you put the carrot pin in there instead of the slip covers? Didn't you just say that the whole reason that this box exists is to put the steelbooks inside it? Well, for most BluFans releases, yes, the one-click edition comes with a box that perfectly fits all of the films inside of it that it comes with. But not this one. Unfortunately, not this one. Now, what you could do is you can fit 2 in here. And it is a nice snug fit. And if I were to do that, you could see that that's about the room that you have to work with. So you can, in fact, fit 2 in here if you wanted, but not 3. When I try and put 3 in, it goes high above the lip of the box, and the lid just sort of settles on the top one. It doesn't even get down to the rest of the box itself, so it doesn't really work like that, unfortunately. And if you were wondering about putting them on their side, oh, that's even worse. Look at how much higher it goes up. You could make the argument of making it like a display piece like this, but then where are you going to put the lid? Doesn't make much sense anyway. Another thing you could do, and this is not something that I will be doing, is you could take the steel books themselves out and stack 3 of them inside at once and use it to store the steel books separately from the big cases that they usually come in. But so 3 of these steel books will fit inside, but that and no more. I don't like the idea of raw steel books scratching against each other inside of that. I'd much prefer leaving them inside of the big releases they originally came with, which essentially means, despite being such a rarity, despite being the rarest release of Zootopia ever, it's just a box. It's just an empty box with no number on it to denote which one-click it would have come with, like which number the one-click was for. Yeah. The rarest Zootopia release is, in fact, not even a Zootopia release. I count it in my collection. This was number 111 solely because this isn't merchandise that you could get. This is, you had to go out of your way to buy a specific copy of Zootopia to get this box. You had to get the BluFans one-click edition. With a single click, you got these 3 films and the box. As such, I count this as a separate release. So you're probably wondering, well, how many people did get this? Why do I keep calling it the rarest edition of Zootopia? Well, that's a good question, and it's basically impossible to know exactly how many of these exist. BluFans never advertises how many one-clicks they made. But I can tell you this. As I said earlier, the full slip edition of Zootopia came with only 500 copies. In terms of like actual numbers that we know for sure, that is the rarest copy of Zootopia that there is. And you could buy that individually way more readily than in the one-click editions. So I think that there's somewhere between 100 and 200 of these one-clicks ever made. And here's the kicker, guys. This is why it's so hard to find, so hard to get, and expensive when you do find it. There are a finite number that were made available outside of China, and we know that number. For the group buy, for the people who wanted a one-click edition and you lived outside of China, 55. There are 55 of the one-click edition box outside of China. That's it. There might be more that originated in China, but they moved out or shipped it out. But in terms of on January 31st, 2017, when this released, 55. And that's it. Yeah. So with the understanding that there's somewhere between 100 and 200 total and 55 that were originally released outside of China, you could see why this is a very rare release and why it took me so long to get it. I've been scouring eBay for over a year. For 2 years now, actually. I've been scouring, on the lookout to see if a one-click edition box ever came up. It finally did, and I finally got it. And now I own the rarest release of Zootopia, even if there's not a copy of Zootopia inside that I could watch. I do miss BluFans. I really do wish that BluFans had made Zootopia 2 releases, but they're not. Film Arena isn't either. Kimchi DVD isn't. So basically, there are no collector's editions of Zootopia 2. And as far as collector's editions of Zootopia, I am only missing the 2 Film Arena releases and 1 of the Kimchi DVD releases, and that's it. Of all the collector's editions ever made for Zootopia, I'm down to only missing 3. Not bad, considering I never thought that I would get this one. And that'll bring this video to an end. So, to recap, the one-click edition is just a box. Technically, if you want it complete, you need to make sure that it comes with a carrot pin, but guys, I'm sure you could still find this on eBay readily available, or Chinese equivalents of eBay, for just a few bucks. So if you find it incomplete, it'll be easy enough to complete later. And yeah, like I said, I just put my carrot pin in there. It fits snugly, perfectly, easy to get in and out. And now this will make a tremendous piece on my shelf to show off to the world the rarest release of Zootopia there is. So, next week I'm going to return to my UK Zootropolis 2 releases. So, make sure that you come back for that. And in the meantime, anyone who's going after this, best of luck to you. There is now 1 less in circulation. So, sorry. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and leave comments and all that stuff that I usually say. And guys, 75 episodes. My goodness, I never thought that I'd make it this far. And you want to know something crazy? I almost have enough stuff in hand or on the way that we're going to be hitting episode 100 pretty much guaranteed by the end of the year. I think that's just so exciting. So happy hunting, everybody. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more.